Good morning. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Hudson. My name is Marilyn Orr, President of the club, and we are thrilled to have you join us today. This meeting broadcast is available on HCTV, as well as our Rotary of Hudson YouTube channel and Facebook. Our club meets weekly using this digital platform, Zoom. When we meet in person, it's at Laurel Lake Retirement Community for breakfast. We hope to get back to that soon. We meet most Wednesday mornings from 7:15 to 8:30 a.m. So come out to join us for a meeting. We would love to have you as a guest. To learn more about Rotary, our club, and the impact we are having on our local community and the world, please visit our website, rotaryhudson.org. So enjoy this meeting today and help us share the message that Rotary opens doors of opportunity.
And now a quiz, the four-way test. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, fourth, be beneficial to all concerned. Hey. Good job. Thank you. And our president, that's your. Thank you very much, Ryan. So to get our date started off, our quote of the day: Rotary will not go backward, nor can it remain stationary. It must push forward. Arch Month 19, Rotary International President, 1916-1970. Rich Warfield has a report on our fall fundraiser.
Up there or down here?
Where are we?
I'd prefer up there.
All right, you can be on camera up here, Rich. I like to be. I know that.
Yes, Marilyn, I did dress up. I got out of my jammies this morning and here I am. I flew all the way home from Fort Myers last night just for this, to be with you, ladies and gentlemen. That's how important this is. So, in all seriousness, I'd like to take a moment of silence because while I was golfing down here, it seems like every time I go to Florida, someone dies. Monday night, unfortunately, my partner, Casey Warfield, passed away with a heart attack. And a tragic event. So we can just take a few seconds, bow our heads, and just Ted and his family. Ted was a Rotarian over in the Fairlawn Club, and past president like myself, so that's why I wanted to share that with. Plus, he's my now former partner. So anyway, Pat asked me to speak about the fall fundraiser, and yes, Pat's right. I like to be on camera and the whole 9 yards. So we struggled at first, which seems to be the trend with any kind of event you're doing when you're trying to raise money. But boy, did Marty and his people come through at the end. A little applause for Marty and his people. Right? Not to take away from the rest of you, don't pretty much came through. We did a couple of numbers for you. Out of 60 members, I think 37 or 38 participated. So if there's some people that forgot about it or still want to write a check for the donation portion of it, make it out to the foundation. It's $100. That's the profit that we expected to make on having bought roses and not roses, flowers and popcorn. So, and kudos to Pat. He was running around town last week delivering popcorn in the back of his SUV. And he must have felt like Santa Claus or something. So the numbers are, where are the numbers at? Right now we're about $8,600 in receipts. And I haven't done a comparison on how that, compares to pre-COVID. But I know Tom, doing the books, having the luxury of doing the books, had it up around $900 or $9,500. You guys can check the numbers on your own. Or when I get a chance, I will do that also. Our expenses are just a tad bit below $3,000. The flowers were I got a lot. Coach is one of them. I got a lot of positive feedback about the flowers. If anybody feels differently, let me know, and we'll take that into reconsideration for next year. And then popcorn, once we kind of tallies everything up, we owe him about $675. So the net profit is going to be around $5,600, which is close to 2 scholarships. So thank you very much. Drawing a blank right now. Old age thing. Golf game was not very good. You can't expect to play up north in 40-degree weather and where there's less water. You go down to Florida, there's a ton of water and a ton of sand. And the golf club just doesn't work the same way. Yes, Catherine.
I just want to say that Tom Page did this for years and did a wonderful job, and we appreciate you taking over.
Thank you, and that's what I want to say. Pat and I chatted through email last night or yesterday that this is all because of Mr. Page. So I think we owe Mr. Page a tribute to what his accomplishments are, and his personal effort Tom put into this event. His eyes lit up, right, Marilyn? And when Gail was here, she called him up, so Tom, how's the fall fundraiser coming? So that's really what I wanted to say. This is all because of Tom Page. And I think we did a fine job on his behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich, for your work on this fundraiser as well. I'm sure we'll have a few more collections, and we do have a couple extra containers of the white cheddar popcorn. So if anybody's interested in purchasing one of those, we still have a couple extra containers of that. We had to order in full case slots, so we have a couple extra containers of that white cheddar. Ed Sogan, Santa on the Green report. You have to stand to the left of the podium so that the people online can see your socks.
I just wanted to say once again, as a Rotarian and a citizen of Hudson, we would like everybody to pace themselves with the holiday celebrations like I do. Don't go overboard. Take it nice and easy so we can enjoy the full month of December and everything it has to offer. Very good. Okay. Okay. Spoiling the event with the name tag on it was Mike Swain, the only one that was properly attired for the event. So we want to recognize him. However, he did not have his pin on, so we won't. We went through 10 gallons of hot chocolate, 200 candy canes in the 6 hours that we had the event. We had 30 Rotarians volunteering, along with Sandy Rexroad, Janet Belby. We had Jean Blackford and Sharon, who was in her 20th year as Mrs. Claus. So that was a nice event in regards to wall-to-wall participation, 120 families. I didn't count the kids, but there were some that came with babies, just had one, and there were other families that had 5 or 6 there, and I had some great photos with that. So thanks for everybody that helped with the event. We have next year, the event is on 12/3. That will be the first Saturday again in December, and it's been an annual event for us, at least for the last 20 years. I have to research this and see when it started. I talked to Mike Miller, who's a grandparent now, who's bringing his grandkids there, and he said that when he moved into town in 1955, he was a kid and came to Santa on the Green. So at least that length of time, and probably before that. So it's a holiday tradition that is second to none. The gazebo was great. Everybody in the fire department, thank Hudson's for the hot chocolate if you get in there, and so we can keep that coming. Thank you for everybody that participated.
And thank you for your commitment to this program. I was there pretty much all day Saturday. And as we were setting up at 7:30, there was the line already for tickets. And hit about 8:20, we were out of tickets for the entire day. So all 120 tickets had been taken. One family that had just moved to Hudson came about 8:30. And it was one little guy, I think he was 5. And I said, well, we're out of tickets. And I told her, I said, if you come back between 2:30 and 3 o'clock, I'll find a way to make sure you get the chance to see Santa. And Mom brought him back about 2:45, and he got a chance to see Santa and ask for his fire truck. And so we made at least one 5-year-old stay on Saturday.
One other thing that happened was Liz Qualick is like lights out with computers and everything else and wanted to do an online registration. And those people that showed up at 6:15 in line booed her. I mean, they want to come early. And again, we went through all those tickets in 45 minutes. And so again, a lights out event. Thanks.
Absolutely a great event. So, Richard, you want to give us an update on the food bank?
Just wanted to give you a brief report on the Hudson food pantry. As you recall, I talked about it back in October, and I had asked for 5 volunteers, and we got 12. So what we did is we split the group on the 2 distribution Saturdays. We had Rotarians on October 23rd, and again, other Rotarians on November the 20th. And I thank everybody that volunteered. It was quite the experience. We served 100 people on the October distribution and 80 people in November. 18 of those are senior citizens, so there definitely is a need for food in Hudson. This year we were able to give them frozen turkeys, frozen pork loin, the regular groceries that they come to get. We're also able to do milk, eggs, and butter. We gave them poinsettias, and the families were really happy to get. One lady said that I haven't had a poinsettia in 5 years, so it brought some people to tears to be able to get food and the frozen goods and the poinsettias. We also had a setup for books for children that they could take home. We did finally buy a refrigerator freezer worth about $10,000 for the pantry. Never had a refrigerator before. So now we're able to give away frozen food and refrigerated food, like milk, butter, eggs, that kind of thing. And all of this food and refrigerator are at the Rejoice Lutheran Church, who have donated the space there. So again, thanks to all the Rotarians. We were requested by the Hudson Community Service Association, which Dave Basil and I are a part of, for Rotarian participation. I'm not sure when they would ask us again, but anybody is always free to come to help out on distribution Saturday. The other good thing that happened is, since we get the food from that Canton Akron Food Bank, right now they don't charge to the local pantries, but we have to go down there and pick it up. And it's an opportunistic thing. It's not like a supermarket where you have the same things all the time on the shelves. If you see something that you need, you have to go get it. So another need was for people to pick up. There are volunteers doing that. My wife and I do that, but also Terry Bortnick and Bill Libby volunteered, and Tom Petropoulos talked to me about possibly picking up, and also Dan Filburn. So when I hear about the need, I'll let the Rotarians know. So thank you for the time, and thank you for your help.
Richard, when is the Saturday pickups?
The next one is early in, let's see now. Oh, the next one's right before Christmas. Well, I'll let you know the date. Okay.
Starting to work with the Hudson Food Pantry. Our club continues collecting items for Haven of Peace in Akron. So if you still haven't brought in your donation, you can do that next week. We're looking for coffee, socks, underwear, gloves, mittens, all sizes, men's, women's, children's. And if you would like to make a cash donation, you can see Terry Bortnick and she'll take that down to Haven of Rest.
And I'm gonna make a trip down probably Friday. So if anybody has anything, I'm happy to even come get it from you. And I'll take everything down there. I have.
You can say that into the mic so we can hear you online, Mary.
Sure. Yeah, I said I'm gonna make a trip down probably Friday. So even if you would like me to come to your place, your home or place of business or something, pick it up, I'm happy to do that. And I'll get everything down there. And we'll finish out this month then with Haven of Rest. And next week, I'll let you know what we're gonna do for the following month. Okay?
Thank you very much for your work on all of our monthly service projects on that here. So next week is our club holiday celebration, and we will have the Hudson Swing Choir will be here to perform and be our program for next week. So if you would like to bring a guest, a spouse, or those for that event, feel free to do that. It's always a great performance that the high school choir puts on for us. We will have a club board meeting immediately following today's board meeting. And now I will have Marilyn introduce our speaker.
Our speaker this morning is Jim Lechko, who for many years has been the foundation chair for District 6630. Jim is a retired financial advisor and brings great expertise to this. The main reason for doing this is that we have a program within Rotary called Every Rotarian Every Year. And the financial report for the RI Foundation was released recently. So this is a great opportunity to find out where those dollars are going. So in just a moment, we're going to pin Jim on the screen and we'll hear more about just what this program is all about. Thank you, Jim, for coming in remotely for us.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Give us a second on the technical side of things here, Jim.
No problem.
Okay, Jim, your center screen.
All right, great. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for the invitation to be here today. As Marilyn mentioned, I'm here to talk about the foundation. And for those of you that aren't aware, the Rotary International designates each month of the year to a different area of focus or purpose. And November is Foundation Month. So we encourage all clubs to have a program about the Rotary Foundation, either in November or as close to November as possible. So here we are in early December, and I'm happy to be here with you today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and bring up a presentation that I'll be doing. Can you guys, everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, great. There we go. And the presentation is visible?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So to start with, the Rotary Foundation's mission is to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace by improving health, providing quality education, improving the environment, and alleviating poverty. Now, this is a screen that, one of the two screens that really gets me excited. And the reason for this is it really makes me confident in donating to the foundation because I'm confident that the money is being used for what it's supposed to be used for and that it's being managed properly. So our foundation is carefully overseen by fellow Rotarians, which are trustees of the Rotary Foundation, and they ensure that our donations are invested well and spent wisely so that they'll do good in the world. Now, our members' generosity and Rotary's work has not gone unrecognized. For the 13th consecutive year, the Rotary Foundation has received the highest rating, which is 4 stars, from Charity Navigator, which is an independent evaluator of charities in the US, for demonstrating strong financial health and a commitment to accountability and transparency. The rating reflects Charity Navigator's assessment of how the foundation uses donations, sustains its programs and services, and practices good governance and openness. Now, the really key number up there is, over 91% of the funds are spent on program awards and operations. If
Here, hold on, I'm in the bathroom.
if should I wait for it to get back? So, when you compare this percentage to other charities, and there's a lot of good organizations out there, but if you ask some of the charities that call you for donations, what percentage of the funds are actually used towards their programs, you'd be amazed at how low some of those numbers are. So we can really be proud as an organization of our foundation, where over 90% of the money is being used for actual programs. Now, our foundation's annual fund helps pay for local and international grant projects. Contributions to the annual fund make our humanitarian impact possible. When you give to the annual fund, you help people like Gabriela Martinez Flores. Gabriela here is expanding her small sewing business and providing a better life for her family, thanks to a grant project that was created by Rotarians in Honduras and the United States that offers business training and microloans. Giving to the annual fund supports Rotarian-led projects like these, projects that are created at the local level, that are developed to meet the community's needs, and that foster international friendship. Through a single gift, you can help women like Gabriella provide a better life for their families. Now, our foundation is dedicated to causes, or what we call areas of focus, that build international relationships, improve lives, and promote a more peaceful world. So the 7 causes here: peace building and conflict prevention, disease prevention and treatment, water, sanitation, and hygiene, maternal and child health care, basic education and literacy, community, economic, and development. And the most recent one, which was just added this past Rotary year, is protecting the environment. So anytime a club does a project and asks for matching grant money from the foundation on a global level for a global grant, that they must include at least one of these areas of focus, if not multiple areas of focus. So this is the other screen that gets me excited. So when donors are asked why they support the annual fund, many say it's because you get something back when you give. When you contribute to the annual fund, part of your gift becomes available for our district and its clubs to use however they want for foundation programs. So basically, when you make a donation to the annual fund, the Rotary Foundation keeps that money for 3 years. So as a district, we have been pretty consistent, right around $200,000, sometimes a little higher, sometimes a little lower, in annual fund contributions each year. So the Rotary Foundation keeps that money for 3 years, invests it, it uses the earnings for operations. But then 3 years later, we get 50% of that money back in what's called district designated funds, or DDF. And then we're allowed to designate up to 50% of that money for local projects and the other 50% towards global projects. So this really makes our foundation really unique, because how many charities do you give to where they come back and ask you how you want to use the money? You know, we take it for granted when we make contributions to other charities that they're using the money, you know, as we would expect them to. But with the Rotary Foundation, you know, we make a donation, 3 years later, they send you the money back and say, okay, go ahead and use that money for, you know, whatever project you would like to do, you know, within Rotary's guidelines. So that's really unique as far as, you know, making charitable donations goes. So the other 50% that doesn't come back to us goes into the World Fund. And that money is used as matching grant money for global projects. And it might be global projects from our district. It could be global projects from districts anywhere else in the world. But again, the 50% of the money that that came back to us, we can then split up between local projects and also matching grants for global projects. This is just an example here of global grants from the last Rotary year, and the dollar amounts that are up there, the 10,000, the 32, and the 7. That's the matching grant money. So the Medina Sunrise Club did what they call the Happy School Project. I think it might have been in India, but the club raised $10,000. The district matched that 10,000 of DDF money, and then the World Fund matched the DDF dollar for dollar, and they also matched the club's contribution 50 cents on the dollar. So that $10,000 became a $35,000 project. The Geauga West Club, the Virgin Island Literacy Project, which was actually initiated, I believe, by Interact Clubs, but there were a lot of clubs around the district, and you may be one of them, that actually contributed to this project, but they raised $32,000. So with the matching DDF and the matching World Fund money, that project was well over $100,000. The two numbers on the bottom there, the Rotary Peace Center contribution and Polio Plus, those were contributions that we made from the DDF that was sent back to us. So again, I mentioned that 50% of our money can be designated towards local projects, matching grant money. The other 50% could go towards matching money for these global projects. And if we have money left over, we can make other donations, specifically to Rotary Peace Centers and Polio Plus. So the $25,000 Rotary Peace Center donation made us, or classified us, as a Rotary Peace Center district. But there's I believe seven Rotary Peace Centers around the world. There's 2 of them down in North Carolina. There's one in England, I think one in Thailand, Australia, I forget where else, but the Rotary Peace Centers offers master's degree programs in peace and conflict resolution. And there's applicants from all around the world that apply for these scholarships. And I've had the opportunity to sit on a committee here in our district where we've interviewed applicants, that we were deciding whether or not we wanted to sponsor them for these Peace Center scholarships. And it's been a really interesting experience because we'll be interviewing people from all over the world, down in Africa or in the Middle East somewhere. And, it's all done via like a Zoom meeting. And, we'll be talking to people, at, 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning here. And, it could be any time of the day or night in other places around the world. But the people that apply for these peace scholarships are mostly people that live in areas of conflict and civil war and things like that. And they're trying to make their home a better place. They are people who already started their careers. Most of them are working in some type of a government or an NGO type of position. And after going through this Peace Fellow scholarship process and getting their master's degree there, they go back and a lot of them become very high level servants in their communities, in the government. Some of them end up working at the UN. But really, the resumes on these people, and most of them are in their late 20s and early 30s, are just amazing. It's a really great program. And then, of course, Polio Plus. We're still down to 2 countries with the Polio Plus program. Afghanistan and Pakistan. To date, year to date, each country has had, I believe, 2 cases. So there's been 4 cases this year, so we're really close. Afghanistan opened up its doors, after our withdrawal. First they had shut us down earlier in the year, or we had shut down because of some safety issues there. But the Taliban has agreed to let our volunteers back in there for the polio immunization days to try to stamp out polio there. I had a concern when we had our withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan, and then we were having thousands of Afghanistans come over, to the United States, and since that was one of the 2 countries was still considered an endemic country for polio, I was concerned about, can they bring polio back to the United States? But I was on a Zoom call with John Germ from the Rotary Foundation was on the call, and I asked him about that. And I guess the way the process works is any of those people coming to the United States first goes to a 3rd country where they are screened for all types of diseases and things. So I was assured that that's not a problem. On a local level, the last 2 years, we've had 19 Rotary clubs participate in our matching grant programs from, with the money from our DDF. So the grant amounts from each year were just slightly above and below $50,000. That's the column on the right there. But the total project budgets or the total impact to the communities with, the amount of money that the clubs contributed also was, $100,000 in the current year and well over $100,000 in the previous year. So the matching grants this past year, it's a minimum of $500, maximum $3,000. But we've had a problem in that we just have not had enough money to fund all of the grants, and we've been in a situation where we've had to prorate the grant requests so that everybody could get funded. So I believe there's a proposal right now that this for the 2022-2023 Rotary year, the maximum grant amount might be dropping to $2,500 in an effort to be able to fund all the project requests that we get. But again, it's a great way to double your money for your projects. So every Rotarian every year, the projects we just discussed, are possible because Rotarians have supported the foundation and participated in foundation grants. Rotary has a fundraising initiative called Every Rotarian Every Year. And the goal is to increase both annual fund support and Rotarian engagement in the foundation. And the idea is that every Rotarian gave at least $25 to the annual fund yearly. Boy, what we could accomplish if we could get every Rotarian to do that. In the 2019-20 year, we had Donors who gave $25 to $50 contribute over $5 million to the foundation. Rotarians gave a little over $123 million to the annual fund overall. Only 33% of Rotarians supported the annual fund as individual donors, and only 80% of Rotary clubs supported the annual fund. But they did award over 1,300 global grants. So that 33% and 80% numbers always surprises me, because anybody that is involved in Rotary, considers themselves a Rotarian, and knows the great work that Rotary does, it's hard to imagine that they can't contribute at least $25, to the foundation. But obviously everybody has their own areas of focus that they want to contribute to. But it would be awesome if we can get more people to contribute to the foundation. So let's talk about a little bit about individual and club recognition. So without sustained support to the annual fund, the programs of the foundation cannot happen. But with contributions of $100 from every member every year, we could nearly double our efforts to help people in need. So somebody that contributes $100 or more to the annual fund every year is considered a Rotary Foundation sustaining member. So we recognize generous donors who give $1,000 or more to the annual fund, Polio Plus, or an approved foundation grant as Paul Harris Fellows. It's the foundation's best known recognition for individual donors. $1,000 can be given all at once or in several donations. And as they reach multiple $1,000 levels, they're considered a multiple Paul Harris Fellow. And then they would get new pin each time, with starting with sapphires for each additional $1,000 level, and then they move on to rubies. And when you get to become a major donor, which is $10,000 in donations to either the annual fund or Polio Plus, you'd become a major donor at that point. And we recently recognized Joe Zapatowski as a major donor from your club at the annual awards banquet back in November. So, thanks to Joe for his continued support. The Paul Harris Society recognizes those generous donors who express their intent to give $1,000 annually to the annual fund and or Polio Plus. The Paul Harris Society membership has grown from about 10,600 back in 2013-14 to more than 25,000 now in the 2019-20 year. In the same time span, it also spread from 84 countries to 145 countries. We currently have about 60 Paul Harris Society members in our district. And I know Tom Tobin from your club is a Paul Harris Society member. So thanks to Tom also. We have some club recognition awards. The 100% Foundation Giving Club banner recognizes clubs whose members give an average of $100 to any foundation fund, with every member giving at least $25. The Every Rotarian Every Year Club banner recognizes clubs whose members give an average of $100 to the annual fund, with every member contributing at least $25. The 100% Paul Harris Society Club banner recognizes clubs whose members each contribute at least $1,000 to the annual fund, Polio Plus, or an approved global grant during a given Rotary year. And then the 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club banner recognizes clubs whose active members are Paul Harris, who are all Paul Harris Fellows at the same time. And these banners and awards are presented at the annual foundation event. There's a number of different ways to give. You can give through Rotary Direct. You can go directly to rotary.org/donate online to make your contribution. You can give a check to your club foundation chair, mail it in directly. And when you do this, you can use your gift to honor or remember somebody. You can increase your impact if your company has a matching grant program. And then there's also ways to start fundraisers for Rotary. Rotary Direct is by far the easiest way to do it. I started doing this back with the year I became president, when I went down to my president-elect training. drank the Rotary Kool-Aid and, signed up for Rotary Direct. So I started doing, and this could be done either with a charge on your credit card or a direct debit from your checking account. So I used my credit card. I did $25 a quarter, which qualified me to be a sustaining member with a $100 annual contribution. And so this is back when I was working. So, as my income increased, I just started increasing my Rotary Direct contributions to the point where, now I do $85 a month. I split it $50 to the annual fund, $35 to Polio Plus, and both of those are eligible towards a Paul Harris Fellow and Paul Harris Society. So the $85 a month puts me just a hair over $1,000 a year for the Paul Harris Society. So it's very easy it's an easy way to do it because, you don't have to take the time to sit down, write a check, or go online to make the donation. And it doesn't hurt. It just kind of gets lost in your credit card bill. So you don't feel the pain. But regardless of the size of your gift, every gift can have a significant impact. There's some examples on the screen there. But again, we highly encourage, the every Rotarian every year focus of just trying to get everybody to contribute something to the foundation. So I'll take some questions, but while I'm waiting for questions, I'm going to see if I can bring up another screen that'll show your club's information here. So any questions out there?
Can I ask a question? Marilyn, this is addressed to you. Is there a way we can access the records and determine where we stand individually with regard to Paul Harris and other ways of doing it? In other words, is there a way I could find out where I stand?
Yes, there is. I can answer that for you. If you go to Rotary.org and log into your profile,
okay,
you'll be able to, and I'll show you this in right now. Let's see. But when you log into your profile, there's a spot there where you can, let me go here. So here's me. I'll go in. So I go right under your profile. There's a link here for my donations.
okay,
Can you see this? Am I sharing this?
yep,
Okay, my donations. Okay, so this donor self-service comes up. And then over here on the right, there's this donor history report.
yep,
Click on this link. Computer's being a little pokey here, so donor history report. Here we go. So, it'll hit, again, it identifies you. It'll show under the gifts, like it shows my annual fund contributions, my Polio Plus contribution. So I'm at 10,002. So I actually just became a major donor this year also. I am a member of the Bequest Society, which I didn't talk about, but Bequest Society members, if you designate money in your estate planning to go to the Rotary Foundation, you can become a Bequest Society member. But this shows you the summary, all the bigger numbers, and it shows your Paul Harris Society eligible. That means if you give $1,000 that year, or when you become a sustaining member for that year, or an every Rotarian, every year member. So all of that information is up here. But then if there's two tabs down here, this is the overview. And then if you look at this transaction detail, this will, give you your entire history of all your contributions. So every individual Rotarian can do this by going to rotary.org and logging in. And just checking that donor history under your name.
Any other questions for Jim?
So this,
You answered everybody's questions unless there's anything else you wanted to share with us.
well, up on this,
Report?
yeah, can you see this club fundraising analysis I have?
Yep.
Okay, so this just shows your club activity for the last several years. Your annual fund contributions have been right around $4,000. There was a nice bump last year, so we hope we can see that continue. Over here under the annual fund per capita giving, you can see like the last few years you were trailing the district average, but last year you were right there, $96 average per capita compared to the district at 95. So, and then these other smaller numbers for this year is just this year's contributions, but that'll change over time. So, we hope to see you up around that district average from, going forward. And then this here shows you, your every Rotarian, every year members. So, these are members who have donated something to the annual fund on the annual basis. Your sustaining members, so these are members that have given at least $100 each year. And Paul Harris Society eligible, that means that's the number of members that gave $1,000 during that actual Rotary year. This report is accessible by your club president, and I believe that either the club secretary or treasurer can pull up these reports. And if you need to know how to get there, let me know. I'd be happy to show you. But again, if there's any other questions, I will be happy to take any questions.
Last call for questions. Jim, thank you for being with us this morning.
All right. Thank you.
So Tom gave me some quotes that are funnier than the ones that I normally start the meeting with. So I'm going to use one of these, and then we'll go into our Rotobuck raffle. When tempted to fight fire with fire, remember that fire departments usually use water. Our Rotobuck raffle. Marilyn, would you pick a ticket for us? All right, our Rotobuck raffle for $8, but the payout is up to $311. 716-977. 977. Oh, Bill.
How about that?
Many years ago, I won one for $700.
There's black marble in there. So. Oh, not the black marble. There's your envelope. Thank you very much, Bill. Congratulations. Bill's donated it back, so that's always good for the coffers.
Rich, report that on my tax return, would you please?
Okay. And for our dad joke of the day. What did the mother spider say to the teen spider? You spend too much time on the web.
That's good.